What's up guys, Prophecy Axis here, bringing you the fourth part of my intro tutorial, 5-part intro tutorial for Prophecy. And today we're going to be doing the stocks and the impact and all that stuff. So also in the last tutorial I forgot to mention the form part of this tutorial, which is basically the main part, which is all coming out of here. But I actually got that from a tutorial from this channel called checkit.com or checkit something, I can't remember, but they're a really awesome channel, so I'll stick that video back up and I'll put that there because that's basically the same effect I used. I didn't really alter anything from it. I'm not very good at using form, so yeah, kinda had to use a tutorial. So yeah, I'm just going to be showing you the stocks and everything that you can use in this, because it is still a really good intro to mess about with. There's lots of different possibilities for what you can do with the drop or whatever you're doing here. So yeah, I'll just try and run through those possibilities in this episode, and in the last one I'll do render settings and all that stuff. So yeah, let's get on with it. So let's just start off by going to the point where this impact happens, and then I'm gonna grab a lens, CC lens. Okay, this is an effect that has been used for ages. I used to use this ages ago, but it's still a really nice effect if you get it right. So if you just drag it on and then increase the size, because by default it looks like a, I don't know, it just makes it look like a circle, like it's in a lens basically. So I'm just going to turn up to about 127, and once you've got that, when the impact happens, I'm going to go to here and I'm going to press the keyframe, just go back a bit. And then I am going to turn this all the way back up to 100, and as you can see this effect is practically off. And I'm going to press U to see all the keyframes in this. So, and then over a longer period of time I'm going to fade this effect out, because that's how I think it looks best. I'm going to easy ease that keyframe, so that's Shift F9 on the keyframe. Or you can go into right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease in. So once you've got that, you can see that slowly this lens effect is, you know, going back to its original position. And you can't really see it, it's kind of like a seamless movement. And if you want to make it more extreme, just bring it down. Obviously you don't want it like this, you want it to have the whole intro out of the boundaries like that. And now I might want to add a smoke effect, which you can do with particular, which is what I did, but then I saved the stock out, so I'm just going to grab that. I might do a smoke tutorial, but to be honest there's tons of them out there, and you don't really need to just follow mine, because there's lots out there and I probably won't be able to do. Well, they'll probably just be the same. I can't really bring anything new to the table for adding a smoke thing. But yeah, this is my stock from my official motion pack. I'm just going to be using that. And if you bring this on, you can see it's going to be just black behind it, and you can fix this by going into your blending mode and screen. And when you do that, you can decrease the opacity. See what I was saying about if you bring a smoke on, it's going to lighten it up. As you can see, it's so bright now, and I probably should have left the the curves a bit lower again. So yeah, obviously you don't want this too dark, you want to be able to see it, but I think it looks a lot better when it's blended a bit more. So as you can see, there's now a smoke around it. And to add more to this, you could even add one of those forms shockwaves, or more recently people have been using this effect from Video Copilot's shockwaves thing from the Motion Pulse pack, which is really nice, but I have a feeling this is going to get as overused as the shockwaves really quickly. So yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, because now it's going to get really overused if a lot of people watch it, which probably won't, but you know, it might happen. I can dream. So any of these are really nice. You can double click on them, check them out, but there's a lot of them there. Also, I'm not going to be providing links to this in the description, because yeah, I mean, it's Video Copilot's product. So just set that as screen again, and I'm going to put this in front of the object. I know you can put it behind if you wanted to, but I think it looks a lot better when it's in front, because it blends it a lot better. So let's go to the impact again. You could even mark it on here if you wanted to. Probably start it here. And I'm going to add a mask to this. So select your Eclipse tool. So it's kind of like Cinema 4D. If you hold and drag, then you can select the Eclipse tool. And I'm just going to select around where that landscape was, as you can see, and you can drag it about when you switch to the move tool. And then if I go into the shockwave and mask properties, you can open this by pressing MM, and that will open every property, and then subtract, which will make the mask subtract from the from this part here. And then I'm going to press F to bring up the feather. I've feathered this a bit. Hopefully that looks alright. It now just kind of looks a bit weird because it's all white and the rest of it is green. So obviously we can fix that with a tint or some more Video Copilot like stuff, which is a free plugin, by the way, that you might want to use. I think it's called like Video Copilot Vibrance or something. It just came out. I like Video Copilot. So yeah, as you can see, it's going to come out there. And I'm going to add tint because that looks really bad and doesn't blend. So just go into the white, the map white to, because if you map the black, that's going to map the background of it, which you don't want. In there. Try and match the colour. Blending it with the original sometimes works, because it will make it brighter because it's white. But this is actually quite, it might be a bit too bright. I might just lower the opacity a bit. You could also, if you don't know how to use After Effects at all, T is to bring up opacity. So just if anybody's stuck on bringing up the opacity, I don't even know how you made it this far. Congratulations. So if you look at that, now you actually have the shockwave, and we could do some timer mapping on this if you wanted. Well, I mean, not if you wanted, I would probably do it. But if you thought that this kind of comes out a bit too slow, you can right click on this, go to time, go to enable timer mapping, and then we can go, this is how it works, you go to the time that you want it to kind of pop out at. So I want it to come here earlier, so I press the keyframe, add remove keyframe, bring this back to the start, which will actually move that time further forward. So as you can see, that happens way too early. But that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say that, as you can see, it's going to, the effect is going to happen a lot quicker at the start. It's kind of hard to see because of the nitroblast, but it's going to happen at the start, and then it's slowly going to kind of decrease. And this thing that I've noticed is that some of these don't fade out properly, so you might want to get your shockwave and go to opacity and fade this out to 0. just in case. It kind of, you see things popping in and out. It's probably one of your stocks. Well, 90% of the time it is. So there we go. I mean, that might be a bit too slow after it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that looks pretty good now. We're getting somewhere. And I almost forgot about the flares, and I want to see if you have time. Alright, let's try and do these flares in this episode. So to start, what you're going to want to do is create a solid optical flares, and optical flares is again Video Copilot. So you're going to have to go digging for a version of that, or you're going to have to buy it. So once you've got that, double click, put it on the solid, and then in this optical flares editor, clear all, and then I'm going to select a shimmer. I'm going to try and do this actually quite quickly. I'm going to set the scale to 400 on this. I'm going to bring it down below the CC, which is going to make it green automatically, but you can add the actual green to it. Also, if you're not using a hue effect on here, it will make it white, so you're going to have to mess about with the colour. And then I'm going to go into the animation evolution, alt click on it, and then do times or asterisk 50, and then we can just close this. And then if I sold this, just so you can get an idea of what this actually does, and make it glimmer over this whole project, which is nice. And then obviously it's got a black background, so I'm going to set this to a linear light. Yes, nope, don't know what's wrong with me. Linear dodge, sorry, which is basically like a screen, but it keeps some of the light in there. This is going to start looking hideous. You want to make this really subtle because it's such a strong light. As you can see, there's not much being added. You wouldn't notice this, that there was actually a flare in here. You might actually want to add it to the top so it kind of looks like it's a cave opening or something. But yeah, this is just a brilliant effect or flare to add. It kind of makes it look like it's underground in a cave. Also looks great for underwater shots. Yeah, so it's my favourite flare. Also, since there's a gradual exposure, there's going to be more exposure on this flare up here than down here. So since the exposure is coming from up here, you'd ideally want a light up here, because that would be more realistic, but you know. Also, you could mess about with the brightness, just keyframe it at this point if you want the brightness to come up here. Just giving some suggestions for what you could do. And then I'm going to add some kind of just random flares around here, because I know people can overdo flares and people are like, oh, I don't like flares, can't get them right or whatever. But really, if you just clear all and just select one flare like a glow, you don't even have to have anything in the preset browser. You can make really nice subtle effects. So I'm just going to switch the blending mode to linear dodge again, and I'm going to put this under the CC, which will make it green. But I'm going to want to change this to a real green. Well, a green within this. I'm going to make it a bit darker, I mean. So what I'd like to do is sometimes during an intro, I'm going to put the brightness all the way down to 0. I'm going to press a keyframe, go a couple frames forward, raise this up to 30 to 50 kind of level, and then lower it over the next second or two. And then it's really subtle, but I think it can make your intros look really nice and really make them pop. It's just kind of the subtle things that make your intros look really nice. And if you can't really see it that well, just obviously raise up the brightness a bit. I'm going to put an easy ease effect on it, so Shift F9, that keyframe. Add some you can add some flares at the side if you like that kind of like flare at the side, which can like a long flare, I guess. Yeah, this can look pretty nice. So with that animated shimmering flare at the top, you can see you can get tons and tons of different kind of lighting situations throughout the whole of the intro. Also adding a flicker to it, so if you go back into the, I'm just going to call this top so you can kind of tell the difference here. And if you go into the flicker and switch this to, I'll go 20, maybe that's a bit too much, 5 and 5. The light will flicker, and also if you have the animation evolution keyframed, this is going to make it look even better. So thanks for watching, and remember to check out all the other episodes on the Prophecy channel, and I'll see you guys in the final episode of my tutorial series. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.